Alright, hey guys. I wanted to do a quick video today on a pretty basic step to motorcycle maintenance that a lot of guys tend to fight over, and of the right oil to run through it and the right amount, especially in the stunt community here, of what the best answer is to this question. And for me, it's never really changed. I've been running the same oil, the same amount of oil for the whole time I've been stunt riding here, and knock on wood, I've never blown a motor. So to the answer to this heated question, at least for myself here, which may come to a shock to a lot of regular riders, I guess, is that I run diesel oil. I run Shell Rotella full synthetic 5W40 diesel oil. There's a few reasons I do this. I think the first and the most important, at least to me, is the price. And I'm not saying that because I'm a cheap ass. I'm saying that because I like to change my oil a lot. It lets me check for anything from like metal flakes in my motor, to just knowing how my motor's doing overall. I like to change my motor oil probably like once every month and a half. So the price of this being like $17.99 at Walmart and AutoZone and everything like that is saying a lot, because your normal motorcycle oil that a lot of guys who are not for this oil run is like, I think like $15 a quart, and this thing takes, if you're stunting 5 quarts, that's $100 in oil change. That adds up pretty quick if you're always doing oil changes, always adding oil into your motor. Being a stunt rider and whatnot, you're gonna lose oil, especially if you have the clean air mod done, which everyone should if you're not, if you're wheeling, which I might have to do another video on. But anyway, it's just a hose that runs from the body of your motor, not to your airbox anymore. So to do an oil change, really basic. All you need is your oil. I run a full synthetic stabilizer in there as well, which pretty much just helps the oil stick on to all the motor parts a lot better. I've always had really good luck with it. I've been using this ever since I was track racing out in California. And literally as soon as I started using it, I could feel the difference in the gearbox and the shifts being easier and like more lubricated. I don't know. Give it a try. Let me know what you guys think about it. I promise you won't not like it. And then, of course, your Kawasaki oil filter. I always try to run OEM oil filters on it and whatnot. And since I'm already not running the OEM oil. And then just your 17mm wrench to get your drain bolt out. And a drain pan. So first and foremost, I'm sure like a lot of you guys know, you want to let your motor warm up. So first things first, turn the key on, let it warm up. And I know on the stock bikes, everything's in a lot different position. Not a big deal. I got a stock bike here too that I can show you guys kind of the differences for an oil change, but it's really basic, same thing. So I'll get back to you guys after this thing's all warmed up. Alright, once your motor's reached operating temperature, operating temp on these things varies from about 155 to 165. Just let it get warmed up essentially. It'll let the motor oil flow a lot easier. You want to get under your bike with your 17mm. Really easy, especially with the fairings off. That's your drain plug. Simple as hell. And just crack it. Depends how long it's been since you changed it, how easy that's going to come off or not come off. Another good reason to change your oil regularly. And yeah, you'll see the stream come out here in like T-minus 1 second. There you go. And that oil looks pretty good. That's a really good color for it. It's still amber like that, but you can definitely tell it's used compared to the oil I'm going to put in here. Yeah, after that, crack your oil filter. You want to let these guys sit and drain out for a while. The K&N filter I got on there from last time has one of these heads on it. Most of the time you can get it off by hand. I can get it off by hand. You just grab it like that. She's on there good. So yeah, just crack that. And then you want to let these drain for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Let them sit. Let them drain. That way you get all the old gunk out of there. And then if you have a magnetic drain plug, you can see if there's any burrs or anything like that, and so I'm still good. I got a magnetic drain plug, and there's no burrs or anything like that coming out of the motor, so this girl's still doing good. So we'll let her drain, and I'll come back to you guys after it's all done. All right, when I'm letting my Stunt 636 piss all of her oil out, I want to show you guys the real difference here, at least for mine. I know a lot of the Stunt guys still run this, but there's this little clamp here on the oil filter. What's the best way to get in there? Pretty much locks your oil filter on your motor, and it's just a little Allen key, but it's not really necessary as long as your oil filter is tightened on there. This is like one of the only bikes I know that has that feature and has that ring around the oil filter, but that's the real main difference. Everything else is the same, 17mm bolt, and I still run the same exact oil through the stock bike. Same amount too. I still do a little bit of overfill on this one as well, which I'll get to later, but yeah, it's still the same setup and still same oil. The only real difference is that little key ring around the oil filter. So you just have to take an Allen key to it, and it's super simple. It's just the only thing I'm not going to cover on this Stunt bike. Once it's all done dripping and all drained out, which, you know, it pretty much is here, go ahead and throw your drain plug back in. First things first, always wipe it down. I always like to wipe down everything just to have that peace of mind that everything is clean when it's going back together. But yeah, wipe it down, throw your drain plug back in, just like that. Put your drain plug in first. Now, you don't ever want to, I don't torque it down personally. I know a lot of people are all for torquing it down. I just give it a snug. I know that's too vague for a lot of people, but I like my whole body weight behind it, and then just a little tap. That's it. That's all she needs. Next up is the oil filter. So just take your nice new one and come in this baggie, just like that. You take a little bit of your clean oil. This is something I've been doing for a while too. I think it helps keep the seal a little bit better. Take your nice new clean oil, put your finger in it just like that, and then just put it around the rim just like that, so you got fresh oil on the O-ring. I know a lot of them come pre-oiled, but just peace of mind once again that you got fresh new oil on there that you did yourself. And then kind of just like your plug, you don't want to over tighten this either, you know, because you are going to be taking this off eventually. So just a little snug, just like that. You don't need an oil wrench tool or anything like that to drive it off. So once that's all sealed on, I forgot to mention that you'll need a funnel. Just kind of thought that was a given, but yeah, you'll need a funnel. And then I add pretty much this whole thing right away, which is what, 5 quarts. It's a gallon of oil. You know, it's a little bit more than the manufacturer recommends. So I'll show you where we fill to. So we do right about halfway like that. And then if you are doing what I'm doing and putting this pure synthetic in, it's supposed to go 1 to 10, so a 10% ratio. I run right about that, and I normally just eyeball this up. There's probably about that much left in there, so I'm going to try to get it down to about there. This will last you about 8-9 oil changes if you do it right, just like that. So you see it's like a thick, like Elmer's glue almost, you know. So a little bit more, just like that. It's like a thick Elmer's glue, and it helps that oil stick onto all your engine parts. And then I pretty much pour the rest of this Shell Rotella in. A lot of people are like, dude, why the fuck do you run diesel oil in your sport bikes? And I've just, like, all the research and forums and all the guys that talk about this, like, literally it's meant for wet clutches, and it's just as good. It's a full synthetic oil, you know. It's literally just as good. So we are right at the hash mark right now. And keep in mind, the bike is on stands. So if it was on the ground, this thing would be right about at the sight glass. When it's on stands, for your overfill, like how I normally do overfill my bike, because on a wheelie it just helps to keep the oil pressure that much better. with about 5.5 quarts in it. If it was on the ground, though, it would already be full. So I got my last about quart here. Yeah, we got my last quart. And go ahead and add that. Make sure that this grill's always got oil in it. Because when you're at 12 o'clock for as long as I am, whether it's, you know, in the lot doing circles at shows, or on the occasional big street ride or whatnot, you're on your bike for such a long time that you want to make sure that your oil pressure is always, you know, where it's supposed to be. So that should be about it. But hey, in the comments, let me know what you guys think after you run this and or the full synthetic motor oil, because I've been running them, like I've said, my whole life, and I've been riding for what, 8-9 years now. I better knock on some wood before I say this. I've never blown a motor, and I'd like to think that I'm pretty hard on my bikes. You know, I've heard of stunt riders and racers and whatnot blowing, you know, multiple motors a year, but it's just a testament of the time that this stuff works. I'll put this over here with all my other 5W40 Rotellas. I got the big one over here that I like to put all the old stuff in, but yeah, that's a little testament of time. So once that's all good, wipe that down. Wipe down your old oil cap, just like that. Make sure you put your O-ring back on. Make sure everything's clean in there. Tighten her up. And then, of course, you want to run your motor again, just for, you know, a few seconds here to get that oil into your new oil filter, and make sure you're still at a level that you want to be at. Whether or not you overfill your bike, that is 100% personal preference. That's if you know that you're going to be wheeling it for a while, or you know, your bike leaks oil or whatever it may be. If not, keep it at the stock level. There's no need for it, but if you're going to be at 12 o'clock, you better have the clean air mod, and you better have your oil a little bit filled, or else you are going to be blowing motors, especially on these 0304s. So let it run. Nothing like that. The motor loves you. Throw some new oil in her every now and then. I'm telling you, you do the basic maintenance in between oil changes, spark plugs, coolant, the basic stuff. Clean your air filter. Your bike's going to love you. So give her a rev or two. Sounds good to me. Keep in mind, it is really cold here. That's why you can see the the air coming out of the exhaust there. But all right, guys, I hope you guys found this video informative. If you guys already aren't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and give the video a like and a share, so other people can start seeing these videos that I'm gonna keep doing and like doing for you guys on the how-tos. Let me know what you guys want next, so I can keep giving them to you guys. This was a question that I got multiple times, however, was what oil do you run in there, and how much, because it's a, you know, like I said, a big key argument. So for the record, there's all you need. Rotella T6. It's cheap, it's the best, and it doesn't blow motors. All right, guys, this is Brian636 signing out.
Hey, see, drip, don't flip. Hey,